we're starting in Steep Run.
Yep.
See, right now I'm in first. So if I take it and move that over, then I've got all 9 gears available. Now what I had to do here, you can see it doesn't have a real good entrance path.
Yeah.
But what I did is I tried to stay as far to the right as I could and not get off that edge and try to drive up on this. Now maybe after I've been up here a couple times, it'll be better. But see, there's a rock right there in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the mailman.
Yeah.
Okay, thought it was another. So I'm in first, 4-wheel drive low. And the main reason why I want to go up here is because I'm going to try to keep this from getting so grown up, because there's a couple roads that go off to the left, and that's where the deer hunters hunt, and Jeff could hunt up there. And I'm trying to keep the weeds and the brush from growing up and taking over the world, because right now you can see the road better, and you can see the rocks and the stumps and the things you need to avoid. And later on in the summer it all grows up, and then you can't see where you're going, and then you drive over things. And I had to open up the road a little bit. You can see where I cut the trees last Tuesday and get them out of the way. And Jeff could come over here and gather those up and take them back and use them as firewood. But right now he's incapacitated, and their 4-wheeler doesn't really work, and they really don't have a truck.
Yeah.
So now there's that steep ravine going along there, which doesn't really show up on the map, but it's obviously a problem as far as driving anywhere over that way. There's a little ditch coming down through there. Now, back in the good old days, Ward Savage, who used to own on the other side of the house, mountain over there, when he was a kid, his family lived up here at the top of the cliff. And so what they would do is they'd ride the horse back from wherever they were, and they'd ride up this road here, and up here on the right is an old log barn.
Okay.
And that's where they corralled the horse, and then they walked the rest of the way up the hill to their house. Because Okensangwan Road was there, and of course it wasn't paved, and everybody had horses. I guess there was probably cars in those days, but they didn't have one. They used horses.
Yeah.
They got a couple old tires over there we really don't need.
Yep.
And actually, it's level there. You can kind of walk out that direction and get back towards the Steep Run bank.
Yep.
And this goes uphill, but it doesn't go very far.
Yeah.
But at least I can get up there a little ways, and there's a spot that turns around. See, that's the cliff. You can actually see the cliff.
Yes, I can.
But during the summertime, when this gets all grown up and green, you won't be able to see that from here.
Yeah.
So that's why I like to come up here at this time of year, because you can actually see stuff.
Yeah.
And the bushes haven't started growing in so bad that I can't see the road. It's working kind of hard to get up through this.
Yeah.
And it would probably be helpful if I turned on the rear locker.
Yeah.
Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to back up into there. See, the road actually goes up there. And I could drive up there a little ways.
Yeah.
I guess I could, maybe I'll try that.
Yeah.
I didn't do this before. See, there's a bank here.
Yeah.
I think that's what slowed me down. There's that bank, and I decided I wouldn't try to drive over that bank. What we're trying to do is keep this from all washing out.
Yeah.
So now what I need to do is back up gracefully into that turnaround area.
Okay. Yeah. So how close are we to that log barn?
The log barn?
Yep.
Actually, we passed it and I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
That's what the problem is. Because it's so fallen down and falling apart, there's hardly anything left of it.
Yeah.
I think I can start turning turn it in here. This is when it's good to have somebody that can spot for you.
Yeah.
That's why I got the rear camera,
Yeah.
and you can see the bamboo bumper.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did the turnaround, and I didn't have to back into any trees, which is a good thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, what I like to do for going down hills is put the rear hill descent available,
Yes.
and it's first gear,
Yeah.
and then it keeps you going 0.6 miles per hour because it's using kilometers.
Yeah.
So 1 kilometer is 0.6 miles per hour.
Yes.
So it goes 6, 12, 18, 24 is the multiplier. So it's 6.6 times 1 through 9, if you know your math
Yes.
multiplication tables.
Yes. Yeah, I do.
And then you don't have to worry about using the brakes or the gas, because see, when you slide off of things like that,
Yeah.
it's hard to catch yourself.
Yeah.
But the computer can do it really fast
Yeah.
and keeps you from bottoming out. But until I get off that bank, I want to go really, really slow.
Yeah, because you don't want to slide.
I don't want to
off
bounce
this.
down and hit something.
Yeah.
And once I'm off that rough stuff, then I can pull it over to the left. And if you pull it towards you, it increases the gear 1 gear at a time. So now I'm in second gear, and then it says I'm going 1.2 miles per hour.
Yeah.
So we can just leave it like this.
Yeah.
And you can pick whatever speed you're comfortable with, but typically I'm not trying to go real fast with this. I used to go as fast as I could with the dune buggy because it was fun to go fast.
Yeah.
Duh. Especially downhill, because I didn't have very good brakes, and so I just put it in first gear and just let the engine braking slow it down and just go as fast as I could without running off the road and crashing into trees and stuff.
Yeah.
So this is where the cars always stop up here, because they've got all their cinder blocks and stuff over there, concrete blocks that they used to fix up the road.
Yeah.
But it's a nice, easy walk out there. And one time I was up here with the forester, and we were hiking out in there, and that's where we found the morel mushrooms. I'm going, okay, what are morel mushrooms? Well, whatever they are, they're little mushrooms that they're actually edible.
Yeah.
And he showed me which ones they were. So I came back the very same day and picked the morel mushrooms and took them back to the cabin and sauteed them in a little bit of butter.
Sounds
And
good.
I think I had mostly butter and not very much mushroom, but the butter was good.
Yeah.
So you got all these green briars growing up here,
Yeah.
and they're really nasty. And you can actually see the road from up here.
Yeah.
The barn should be right down there on the left if we ever get to it here. See, there's a ditch going off here,
Yeah.
and these ditches all need to be bulldozed open. And what you really need is a bobcat with a track,
Yeah.
because it can push the dirt out and get a grade so that there's a drop in that, so the water will come down and go out the ditch.
Yeah.
And that's why we're not using this road, is because the grass and the leaves are keeping it from washing away. But if we were using it a lot, that's the barn. That's what's left of it.
Yes. Yeah.
And then off to the side, on the other bank, is where that little spring is. And I got the spring marked on here. It's just a little square hole in the ground. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But I think it's up on that bank someplace.
Okay.
And then the other road that we take up is up on that edge, that mountain over there, that hill up there.
Yeah.
So that's where the other road is.
Okay.
Okay, I think we can go. The road's smoothing out a little bit. We can go a little bit faster. We're going a whopping 2.4 miles per hour now in fourth gear.
Yeah.
Because I think the way this works is it's actually actuating the brakes in some intelligent manner to keep you going the proper speed. Because I'm only got 1500 RPM on the engine, and I don't think the engine, because it's with an automatic transmission, you don't get a lot of really good engine braking with the engine.
Yeah.
So with an automatic transmission, the only braking you get is with the actual real brakes.
Yes.
So that means the brakes on this thing are really taking a beating.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but it seems to have really good brakes, because I got 15,000 on it and haven't even begun to wear out the brake pads. So they must be using pretty good brake pad material. I wore the ones out on the Hyundai. I think I got about 40,000 miles on them, and I wore the pads right down to the rotors and tore up the rotors. I hate it when I do that.
Yeah.
So I had to replace the rotors and the pads and the whole everything. And then right after that was when Arnold got the car, and then he got rear-ended.
Yeah.
So I had a new battery and new brakes and a new axle, and all. I had it all fixed up, and the headlights were all clean so that they shined good through the lens. Now, when we get down here, I need to be careful how I get back onto the road.
Yeah.
I can't get over to the left too much, but it looks like I'm developing enough of a track. But see, there's that rock sticking up there
Yeah.
right to the left of where my tire is. What I'd like to do is keep that right tire on top of that rock, but then I get too close to this drop off on the left,
Yeah.
I'm hitting something. I'm not sure what, and I want to be real slow coming off of this, because I don't know what I'm going to hit underneath there. It's not a really smooth ramp. Okay, now I think you can go ahead and stop the recording if you want, just for purposes of